Hotel Praia Sol, Luís Firmino Insurance, MCM Clinic, Top Burger, Go Car Service, Coimbra Restaurant.
Bem-vindos a mais um Legal Way, é sempre um prazer estarmos na vossa companhia e hoje com dois convidados muito especiais, já que temos connosco o Dr. George Russo. Doctor, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. E a doutora Cíntia Marques Russo. Doutora, muito obrigado pela
Sempre
sua
um
presença.
prazer, Ricky. Sim.
Let's talk about immigration because a lot of things are happening right now. Can you tell us the last developments? What you know that we need to know, Doctor?
Well, we can start with the birthright citizenship, which is important. A few weeks ago, the Supreme Court held in a close decision affirming the text of the 14th Amendment that says all persons born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. They had been trying to change that to make it so that the children of undocumented immigrants and the children of people here on tourist visas, if they're born in the United States, they've been trying to change that by executive order to say, no, you're not citizens. The Supreme Court rejected that. So it is a win. It's a win, but it might not be permanent. They can still try a constitutional amendment to overturn it. That's been the biggest
But it was a
news.
huge step because that was one of the big points on the Donald Trump idea when he ran to become, for the second time president, and that what that exactly represents right now. That 6 judges vote against, 3 in support of that idea. What that means that everyone that's born here will be able to be American by right.
Yes, that's still the law. Even if you're temporarily here, right? So it is pretty concerning that there were this many judges that were willing to overturn it. It does not take a lawyer to read the text of the 14th Amendment and realize the plain language of what it means. If you're born in the United States, you're a citizen thereof. And an interesting example would be U.S. men's national team Folarin Balogun, the star striker for the U.S. national team, who is only a United States citizen because of the 14th Amendment. His mother traveled from England to the United States while she was pregnant. While she was in New York, she had certain pregnancy complications. They would not let her board the flight back to England in order to deliver the child in England. Therefore, Flo Balogun was born in the United States. Shortly after he was born, the whole family went back to England. None of them are American, but he is a United States citizen because of the 14th Amendment. It's a very unique example because his mother was only here for a few months, and now here he is starring for the U.S. national team at the World Cup.
And one of the points that I think that is extremely important for our audience to understand is by supporting that decision on the 14th Amendment means that anyone that probably born here but their parents are illegal immigrants, they will be able to become or to have a green card when the time comes.
No, they're citizens.
No. I'm talking about the parents.
Oh, right.
For example,
For the
right?
parents.
And that was one.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest concerns, right?
Yeah. Well, providing they entered with a legal visa and providing that they can continue their paperwork, yes. Because, if you enter across the border, even if you have citizen children, you need a waiver of either your parents or your spouse. The kids don't count. So you still have to eventually go back and get your visa.
Correct.
But what would have been very interesting imagine they took that birthright citizenship away. What would they do to all of those presently military U.S. kids that are kids of so many of our clients that are
Correct.
undocumented and are now trying to continue with their military parole in place.
Correct.
What would they do with all those people if they're not citizens? They'd be fighting in the war in the Middle East. What are they going to bring them all back? It would be a nightmare.
Do you think that you mentioned that is concerning that 3 judges are supporting that decision? What that means? There can be another attempt to change that?
Actually, I think it was 5-4 on that one part.
4,
6-3 on one part and 5-4 on the one part. But no, I don't think they'll go back and change it. Now, of course, if Donald Trump gets to replace certain judges on the Supreme Court and the composition of the court changes, then yeah, you can go try again with an executive order, right? But what the Supreme Court said was, if you want to change the 14th Amendment, you have to amend the Constitution, and that is a lot harder to do, like, a lot harder to do. So
Do you need like Congress help, right?
you need not just Congress, you need to get, I believe, 67% of the states also to ratify. It's not happening.
It's
It's not happening in any time in the near future. So
Well, that's good.
we're safe.
That's good. Doctor, I have a question here. Someone asking me, and it is kind of related. So they come to the United States with a visa. They overstay. Visa at the time there was, issue for 6 months, not the
Not the visa waiver,
not the
okay.
visa waiver. So they overstay. They've been here for 13 years. They have a kid, 10 years old. They need to wait how many years, and what are the process for those parents?
Okay, so
They've been
the
here
spouse
for-
is not legal
No,
either.
both of them, they
Okay.
overstay. Yeah.
Okay, well, the kid has to be 21 in order to file a legal petition for the
So he
parents.
was born 11 years ago, they came
Yeah.
13 years ago,
Yeah.
11, so it's 10 years, right?
Yeah.
What are the chances in those 10 years? Is anything that they can do to, or based on the law at this moment, what they should start the process now? How
Well,
that works?
We don't know if there's anything else in his history that would allow him to start a different type of process. For example, we don't know if he's a victim, we don't know, but all of those other types of processes are very backlogged. So unfortunately, if he gets stuck and happens to get picked up or anything of that nature, we'd have to see how long the time frame is, because these days they're not waiting. Even if you have cases that are approved, if your priority date is so far away, the government right now doesn't really care. They say, okay, you can go wait in your country, and so that's a lot of the battles going on.
So for that person is basically
Stay on good
stay
behavior.
in good behavior.
It's worth it to have a consultation just to see if there's anything in their history that will spark a plug. We don't know.
Correct.
We don't know if they had parents who were here ever, if they ever filed anything.
Correct.
And then they left, even if it was denied. Yeah, I mean, even if, as long as it was, there's still people. George just went this week, right? This week with somebody, old case. They were a child of a 245I, which means they were a derivative of a file filed January 14, 1998. Right. So,
Wow.
if they were filed like a labor contract,
Correct.
if they were the kid of the person protected.
That can be
Yes. There's a lot of little nuances. So our advice to that person is make a consultation just to see if there's anything in their history that can help them.
É muito importante o que a doutora disse agora. Portanto, muito destas pessoas poderão ter uma história que está por detrás. Por exemplo, se os seus pais ficaram legais aqui através de um contrato de trabalho, há muitas nuances que podem ser analisadas e que poderão ser uma porta para uma solução. Por isso mesmo, faz todo o sentido, se está ilegal, que apresente o seu caso, que faça uma consulta com o advogado, com o Dr. George Russo ou a doutora Marcos Russo, no 48 da Wilson Avenue, 973-344-91-2020. Porquê? Porque pode haver particularidades da forma como alguém da família ficou legalizado, nomeadamente um pai ou uma mãe, que poderão abrir a porta para um processo. Cada caso é um caso. Doctor, lately we've been hearing a lot of stories. Today, so far, I get 3 or 4 messages from ICE activity nearby us. What is the best advice for someone illegal that is facing a federal agent across the street?
You could take this one, George.
Well, across the street,
Well, they don't know, because one of the biggest challenges is that person doesn't know if they come for them. You know, if he's a person without any problems in the past, what that person should do.
well, if they're actually across the street, I would turn and walk away. But if they do get approached, you know, they have to understand. They have to ask the question: Am I under arrest? Am I being detained? If you're under arrest, I want my lawyer. If you're you say, am I free to go? Right? If they say no, then you don't say anything. You say, I want my lawyer. Right? They're gonna do their thing. They're gonna do their thing. They have biometric scanning. They can try to find your identity. They can take your name and run to see if you're in their system. But the important thing is to not make any admissions to them that would allow them to help their case. You don't want to help them in that way, right? For example, if you come in and if you interact with someone and an officer and you tell them that you're from another country, whatever, all of that goes into their report. It makes it easier for the government to prove their case that this person's
Should not be here.
right.
So I have someone that texted me. One of the family members was detained recently, a couple of weeks ago here on Raymond Boulevard, and that person never had any problems, right? Was some federal officers that start, inquiring different people, and they interact with that person. They realize that person have no paperwork, and they be now at Delaney Hall. What that person can do, clean record, being here for 7 years, no issues, never got a ticket, took a driver license 3 years ago, clean record on everything, came with a visa, overstay the visa. What that person can do, what are the chances? Can they contact a lawyer?
Well, they should definitely contact a lawyer,
What-
especially if they're at Delaney Hall.
Correct.
And then if they contact the lawyer could let them know based upon their background, their history, if there is
What-
anything.
what
if they're
are the
worth
options?
If it's worth it to ask for a bond or do a habeas, George can handle all of that.
So those situations are valid, correct?
Yeah.
And the timeline here is important, doctor, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, if that person got transferred to outside the state, that becomes more difficult for you to do the job that needs to be done?
Well, it becomes more difficult if they get transferred to a bad state, like in the Fifth Circuit, which would be Louisiana, Texas.
Which happen a lot.
It happens a lot.
Yes.
Right, it happens a lot. Although the law is changing.
There was that
Yes,
that
just
decision, right?
this week, the Fifth Circuit issued a decision that said, and that this is the tough circuit, issued a decision that says that immigrants are entitled to bond hearings. A class of immigrants. I mean, I'm generalizing. A class
Correct.
of immigrants. These people are entitled to bond hearings, right? So, as far as whether or not if you're transferred and you're in front of a different immigration judge or different immigration court, honestly, there's good judges and there's bad judges in every state.
Correct.
Like New Jersey, there's same New Jersey, California, whatever, Maryland, whatever state you're in. Sometimes you'll get tough judges, sometimes you'll get more understanding judges, right? It doesn't really matter, but yes, if you're in a state that I can't file myself to get into federal court, then yeah, it makes it a problem. But there are states where you can file.
And becomes more difficult
And-
because it's got to be another lawyer to work closely with you to do
Well,
that, right?
it
Or-
depends. You don't necessarily need another lawyer. If you just file a certificate, then you're allowed to enter an appearance in in a lot of states.
Correct.
Okay, but it does. You shouldn't wait, because the thing is, if you're at Delaney now, you're in Newark. If you have family in New Jersey, they can still go visit you. If you get transferred to who knows where, then it makes everything more difficult.
I have a case here that a little bit confused. So this person got married with an American citizen. Prior to that, someone submitted paperwork requesting asylum. He's from Portugal. He recently got a message on the online account, the immigration online account, that he needs to pay $100 for
To renew the asylum.
to renew the
Yeah.
asylum. What that person needs to do, because he was under the impression that his case was overturned, like no longer an asylum case to a marriage case.
Did this person enter with a legal visa?
They enter, yes, with the ESTA,
And now they're married to a citizen.
correct. They
They
overstayed
should
the
probably
ESTA.
withdraw their asylum. Portugal doesn't have asylum, but they should withdraw it, not pay the $100.
Not pay-
No, because then you're continuing a fraudulent application, and that could hurt them in the future.
So that person should, is that possible to have two cases? Because that's,
It's possible to even have 3 cases. Yeah, I mean, but they should withdraw their asylum, because if they pay the $100, they're continuing to say to the government, I'm going to continue this asylum application, even though I'm in Portugal. Portugal doesn't have asylum. So it's fraud, and that's going to hurt their marriage case.
Correto. So, para a pessoa, portanto, que me contactou, muito importante. Eu penso que a melhor maneira é contactarem um advogado diretamente. Porquê? Porque se há mais do que um caso, pagar um valor que
Falam
está a ser
português?
pedido, falam português.
Ok. Se continuam a pagar, se vão pagar os $100 do asilo, eles estão continuando uma aplicação que eles sabem que não vale. É fraudulento. Isso pode trazer problemas para o caso do casamento deles. So, não deviam pagar os $100, deviam mandar para o departamento onde meteram o asilo a tirar o caso do asilo e que mandam um Certified Return Receipt e também regular, né?
Portanto, o que deve ser feito isso terá que ser feito através de um advogado.
Nós fazemos isso.
Deve fazer.
Sim, yeah.
Portanto, fica aqui uma vez mais a informação, portanto, muito importante. Se recebeu ou se teve um caso que poderá ser fraudulento, porque...
E com certeza tiveram o permisso de trabalho.
Correto, tem permisso, é o que me está a dizer.
Isso traz outros problemas, porque eles tiveram o permisso de trabalho baseado numa aplicação que não valia, então essa continuação pode trazer problemas no futuro anyway.
Correto.
So eles deviam, pelo menos, agora como está casado, pelo menos tentar tirar o
E já
asilo.
submeteu os papéis para esse, portanto, já submeteu toda a aplicação para a regularização através do casamento.
Yeah, mas não é só regularização, porque o casamento, ok, eu estou casado, eu meto os papéis casado, mas não é só isso. A pessoa tem que ser legível, admissible. E certas pessoas que cometeram certos atos que são maus podem ser não legíveis de receber.
caso, a submissão...
Right, porque não é só eu sou casado e isso está tudo bem. Aliás, hoje em dia, right, mesmo os nossos casamentos que eram...
Isso é uma das perguntas que eu tenho
that's the
aqui.
problem, yeah. Today são muito mais difíceis nos casamentos.
Portanto, fica aqui a resposta, como explicou a doutora, a melhor solução, 973-344-9120, façam uma marcação, falem com o doutor Jorge Russo, com a doutora Cíntia Marques Russo. Porquê? Porque é necessário parar algo que pode ser fraudulento e ter a certeza que tudo é feito. A nível de casamentos, como a doutora referiu, Doctor, this was in English, so I think that will be better for you to explain. A marriage situation. Someone got married, legal marriage, they went to the first interview, call for a second interview. They have a second interview in about a month or so. What are the expectations? What needs to be done? Why that happened?
Well, it's going to be a much longer interview. It's going to be an interview. It could have happened for many reasons. There could have been some inconsistencies in the testimony. There could have been some inconsistencies with the documents that were submitted. So you should expect a much longer interview, possibly where the two people are separated, and each one should expect probably 30 to 40 minutes of questioning, and where they'll go over a lot of details about the lives. The most common questions are about each other's work life, their family, their relationship timeline, the contents of their house, the color of their refrigerator, whether or not they have air
Correct.
conditioning, whether or not they have HBO or Amazon, who pays for the bills, what
Making
bank
sure that is
right,
valid.
Yes.
what bank account does your husband keep his money in, stuff like that, right? That's the most common situation.
The person is asking me, the first interview was a really bad experience. Seems that, the federal officer was kind of
Mean?
not mean, not friendly
happen.
at all. Who determined that second interview? Is the person that is conducting the interview?
What do you mean, who determines?
Well, is it usually, I don't know if it's still the same, is it usually still the same officer?
That does
I
the
believe
second
it's a
interview?
different
Yeah,
officer.
sometimes it's the same officer, yeah.
I think it's a different officer sometimes.
Oh, okay, so,
Okay, so fica aqui.
Sometimes,
Hit or miss.
sometimes it goes to someone who's higher up in the office.
okay.
Correto. Só então fica aqui a explicação. Essa segunda entrevista poderá ser com alguém com um cargo ou com um ranking um pouco superior, talvez um supervisor ou alguém que possa tomar uma decisão. Doctor, I have another question for you. Someone from Ecuador. This person come request an asylum back in 2021 because of the situation in the country. So they went to the first court a year ago. They have another court date in 2028. What they can expect it to happen? So they have right now work authorization. They was granted at the first court the asylum case, but Ecuador was a bad situation in the country at that time. Still bad, but it's.
Right.
What are the expectations for that new court date?
Well, they should be meeting with the lawyer, whatever lawyer they have, to make sure that they're going to go over everything that they're going to present. They still have the right to present new evidence 30 days before the individual hearing.
What type of evidence can be submitted in?
Well, I don't know what the basis of his asylum was. Was it belonging to a specific group?
Political persecution. that's
Right,
what
so if
they
it's
tell me.
political persecution, he's going to have to demonstrate that he actually was a member of a political organization. All those records from his country, they must have, I'm sure, been translated and turned in, and statements from people that also belonged in that organization that in turn were persecuted because of that reason. You can't just say, I belong to the opposing party in Ecuador, and that's not a good thing. You have to prove the nexus.
And very interesting point, because, and again, that do not apply for the case that we are discussing here, making sure on that. This person is asking me to traveling to their country.
Are they
Wha-
crazy?
That's what I'm saying.
No.
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 that's
You
the
can-
first thing you cannot
okay.
request.
Years can pass, maybe 10 years, 15 years, and we recently, actually, George, I think recently, Customs officer answered this question about an asylum person going back to their country. So I think the Customs officer even said in the answers that if it's 10, 15 years later and the situation has changed in your country and it's a short visit that you're going, maybe for family or whatever, then that's fine. But to a country that you recently, if you have an asylum claim and you're not even granted, that would be crazy. You should not go.
I would wait until you get your U.S. citizenship.
Yeah.
Correct. And then more important, that person, for example, if, and I'm just hypothetical
Yes,
situation,
yes.
that person leaving the country with an asylum case, even if everything goes well there, and we hope that goes well, when they return, can be a question mark
Yeah,
from
no,
the,
they've abandoned the application.
Yeah.
If you pretty much go back to the country that you filed, that you're saying you can't go back.
So, fica muito claro, portanto, qualquer situação tem que ser bastante clara e as pessoas têm que tomar decisão nas decisões que tomam. I have a last question for one of you regarding DACA. Any news regarding DACA? This person comes from Portugal, is attending King College, no issues. Needs to renewal their paperwork in about 3 to 4 months. They never have a lawyer, they did the paper, in their home. They are thinking in hiring someone to, eu penso que é a maneira mais correta de fazer as coisas, vamos ser claros aqui, they should do that. Yeah.
And I think you can renew in advance too. Don't wait till the last
Don't
minute.
wait till the last minute, so is any time frame that they need to?
I think it's 6 months.
Yeah.
That's what they tell
6
me.
months.
Yeah. So they any new situations that they need to take a look, or
No, there's nothing new.
Is it
I
nothing?
mean, they've picked up people that have DACA, but it's rare.
it's
I mean, I think it's hit or miss. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing new as far as DACA, but there are new things as well as there are new things as far as more immigration, roadblocks that they like to throw up. For example, from February, as we've talked about previously on the show, the extra vetting on all these applications.
Correct.
They're holding all these applications for extra vetting, whatever that means. And second, as of July 10, they have a new policy that, well, it starts July 10. They have a
is
new
Friday.
Yeah. They have a new policy that basically says that they can reject your application if you have a missing or like invalid signature, or one of the boxes is not filled out right. And guess what? They're going to keep the fee and then tell you to file again. And then so if you do that on a DACA application and there's part of it that's wrong, well, you've just paid them the DACA fee to renew it, and now you're out of status because it's going to take time for them to actually process the
and
new
then
one.
you need to pay again.
And then you
because-
need to pay again.
Só fica aqui, é muito importante porque muitas das pessoas normalmente fazem ou submetem uma aplicação com um amigo, com alguém conhecido, com alguém que até é um entendido na matéria. Não cometam esse tipo de erros porque podem sair bastante caros. Porquê? Porque, como acabou de explicar o Dr. Jorge Russo, a partir de sexta-feira, dia 10 de junho, uma das novas regulamentações diz que uma aplicação pode ser negada se há uma assinatura que não está submetida corretamente, se há uma das perguntas que não foi respondida como deveria ser, e o problema é que, submetendo essa aplicação, fica sem efeito, você fica sem estatuto migratório regulamentado, porque está fora do tempo, e tem que pagar novamente para ressubmeter a aplicação. Portanto, não jogue pelo seguro. It is important today to make sure that the things are done properly.
That's right. Yeah.
Doctor, we have 1 minute. What else the people out there should know about everything
About-
that happened?
Basically, just try to remain calm and try to put yourself in the best position that you can. Make sure that you have all the information that you need, and that be aware that not everyone's case is the same as yours. A lot of people are turning to Instagram and TikTok, and they see things, and I get a lot of for people that are detained, for example, you hear all these stories from everyone else that might be around, and you'll say, this person did this, why doesn't that work for me? But you don't know everyone's story, so it's important to try to filter out the noise and realize that not every case is the same. And if you just get the information that works best for you, everything will work out. the way it should.
Doutora, uma última mensagem para todos. É importante keep calm
Yeah.
e do the right thing, right?
Keep calm, that's very important, yeah. Day at a time,
A day at a time.
yeah.
Fica aqui, portanto, a informação. Eu penso que o melhor que nós podemos retirar desta conversa de hoje é que, no momento em que atravessamos, é fundamental as pessoas entenderem que há opções. Aprendemos algo que é muito importante. Um caso que pode não ter saída, poderá haver algo no passado que abra a porta a uma possível legalização. Imagine se você tem alguém na sua família, que o seu pai ou a sua mãe, que conseguiu a legalização através de um contrato de trabalho, por exemplo. Poderá haver alguma linha nesse caso, de há 20, 30 anos atrás, que poderá trazer uma réstia de esperança. Por isso mesmo, não generalize. Tenha a certeza que contacta o Dr. Jorge Russo, a Dra. Cíntia Marques Russo, 973-344-9120, 48 Wilson Avenue. Porquê? Porque cada caso é um caso e uma análise exaustiva de cada situação pode abrir as portas a uma solução. Até rima, mas é muito importante que você se mantenha calmo em casa, faça o que tem que fazer, mantenha uma atitude correta e que Deus nos ajude. Não é assim, doutora?
Sim.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was
Hotel.
one more, The Legal Way. É sempre um prazer estar na vossa companhia. Tenham um ótimo dia.
Este programa tem o patrocínio North Avenue Bakery, Hotel Praia Sol, Luís Firmino Insurance, MCM Clinic, Top Burger, Go Car Service, Coimbra Restaurant.